Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes has been announced. A rematch years in the making as the co-main event to Leon Edwards versus Bum Mohammed 2. Curtis Blaydes, Tom Aspinall. There's not much to say about this fight apart from unfinished business. Curtis Blaydes is coming off a good win against Jadel Almeida. And then Tom Aspinall's coming off a good win against Sergey Pavlovich. Don't know why I said that weird, but Pavlovich. This is a good fight, and I think this is kind of a fight where I almost feel this fight was nearly a third option, or even fourth option, to be quite honest with you. So, what I mean by this fight was like third or fourth option is, so obviously the fight to make a heavyweight is John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. But John Jones is running scared of Tom Aspinall. He wants absolutely nothing to do with Tom Aspinall, so he's going to fight Stipe and then run off to the sunset. That is a quote from his DMs, by the way. He said that in the DMs. Old man Stipe, get the fuck out of here with John Jones, bro. Dude's holding up the division. If anyone has a brain, they know Curtis Blaydes versus Tom Aspinall is the fight for the real belt. Like the actual fight at heavyweight. The real champion at heavyweight is Tom Aspinall. He's defending the belt. Literally, he's defending the interim belt. He's defending his belt. If we're gonna fucking get into it, yeah, John Jones did not beat the champion. But then you could say, oh, Tom Aspinall didn't beat the champion either. Tom Aspinall doesn't have a fucking chance. The champion won't fight him. Do you know what I mean? I just think heavyweight's a fucking mess right now. I'm gonna make a rant about the heavyweight division soon, but I'll get back into the prediction. So, obviously, the John Jones fight was number one. Then they were trying to get Cyril Gane, but Cyril Gane, just turns down every single fight. He said he only wanted to fight for the belt, but then he turned down the opportunity for the belt. He's filming a movie, and then the Stipe fight, and then it was Curtis Blaydes. So if you're Curtis Blaydes, I honestly think Curtis Blaydes needs a lot of respect in this situation because a lot of people are giving Tom Aspinall praise. You need to give Curtis Blaydes praises too. This is the second fucking time this dude has come to England to fight Tom Aspinall. The second fucking time. Obviously, obviously he's fighting for the interim belt, so he's not coming out of the goodness of his heart. But he fought Tom coming off a win on his last time he came to England. I think it was a win anyway. I could be wrong there, but I think he was. And he did not need to fight down. He could have said, nah, I'm only fighting up. Curtis Blaydes needs put some respect on his name too. How this fight is going to play out, it's actually closer than people think, I think. Curtis Blaydes has made a lot of improvements, especially in his striking. Now, a lot of people are looking at that Jailton Almeida fight and saying, oh, Curtis Blaydes got fucking just, held up and he couldn't do anything. Honestly, Curtis Blaydes was getting up from those takedowns. Honestly, a lot of people look at it like that, as in regards he got, like, quote-unquote ragdolled, which he didn't. But then again, you look at Curtis Blaydes was getting up off the takedowns. And he finished Jadel Almeida in the second round. That absolute fraud. So Curtis Blaydes needs respect. I do think Curtis Blaydes' striking's gotten a lot better. Now, obviously that first fight went the way it went. Tom Aspinall got the injury. There wasn't really much to be said in that fight. But if Tom Aspinall comes out fucking thrown like he did, I do think he can get caught. Because Tom Aspinall gets hit, man. Tom Aspinall isn't invincible. Now, I do think Tom Aspinall will win this fight. And I do actually think he's going to finish Curtis Blaydes. But I do think there's a good chance of submitting him just as much as he has knocking him out. Now, if I was to bet, I'd obviously pick a knockout. But it's a lot. I think it's close, man. Curtis is good. Curtis is fucking good. And we didn't see much in the first fight, obviously. But I think Tom needs to be smarter. I think he needs to fight the way he fought against Volkov to win this fight. I don't think he can go in there reckless the way he was thrown in the first fight. Now, obviously, 30 seconds or whatever it was, that fight lasted. Not even 30 seconds. You can't really say much. But I don't think you can go in there swinging to the fences against Curtis Blaydes. Because I was watching the Pavlovich fight. He caught Pavlovich a good few times with some nasty right-hand counters. And I think Tom Aspinall can be hit by them. I do. A lot of people, they like to pick at the Andrei Arlovsky fight. But that's years ago. Do you know what I mean? That is fucking years ago. But, Tom's chin is there to get hit. It is a tough fight for Tom Aspinall, but I think he is too well-rounded for Curtis Blaydes. I think he mixes it up better. Now, Curtis does have the threat of the takedown, but I also think Tom Aspinall has the threat of the takedown in this fight as well. And I don't think Curtis can submit him, but Tom could submit Curtis. Now, Curtis has them nasty elbows on top, razor blades. That's where the name is from. Throwing those razor elbows. So Tom needs to be careful. If you're going to fuck with Curtis on the ground, you better make sure you get him in something. You can't hang out there and try work your way on top and landing elbows, because I don't think that's going to work in this fight. The game plan for both of them, I would feel, if I'm Curtis, I'm kind of using a counter-attack in this fight, because I do think Tom is going to come forward. And if I'm Curtis, I'm like, great, let him come forward. Let him do what he was doing in the first fight, because I do think Tom Aspinall's chin is in the air at times, and I do think he can be caught. And I want to say this. There is actually still a lot of unanswered questions around Tom Aspinall. I don't know what you're saying. What do you mean by that? Tom Aspinall's never gone past the second round. We don't know what his cardio is like in third, fourth, and fifth. Curtis Blaydes has gone 5 rounds before. He beat Volkov in a 5-round fight. You know, he has decisions on his record. Now, he has been doing well finishing fights lately. Finished Almeida, finished Dawkins. Now, the Pavlovich fight, he was being an absolute idiot. And I think he learned from that fight. And I don't think he's going to make the same mistake in this fight, just standing there with him. I do think Curtis will shoot for takedowns. But it just depends how long this fight goes on for. I don't really see this fight being too long. I do think there'll be a first-round finish. And if I was to bet, I'm gonna bet on Tom Aspinall first round finish. That's my official prediction. But I don't think it's gonna be like Tom Aspinall goes in there and absolutely smokes him in the first round like he did with Pavlovich. I don't think that's gonna happen. Now, MMA math doesn't always add up, because Pavlovich knocked out Blaydes, and then Blaydes got knocked out by Pavlovich. Oh, sorry, Pavlovich knocked out Blaydes, and then Aspinall knocked out Pavlovich. So it doesn't always add up. But then it doesn't always add up. So I do think this is gonna be a fucking scrap. And this is for the real belt, in my opinion. I do think I would consider Tom the champ. That's just what I think. I don't really care what anyone else thinks. That's what I think. I do think Tom Aspinall is the champ. I've kind of put John Jones, Stipe out of my head as regards to the division, so I can look at the landscape of things, because they're not going to be around come November. For Curtis, I would just use a counter-attack based strategy in this fight. I do think Tom can be hit, like I've said. Even throw in a takedown, mix it up, give Tom something to think about. For Tom Aspinall, I do think kind of being smart in this fight is very thing, because I do think Tom's going to plunge forward like he does in all his fights, but I think a good leg kick, get heavy approach is going to be something I'd like to see in this fight. Give Curtis something to think about as well. And why not throw in a takedown as well? Because I don't see Curtis having much submission threat, but then Tom has got good submissions against like Volkov and stuff like that. He submitted Arlovsky as well in the second round, Volkov in the first round. And then use your speed, because Tom is so fucking fast. Try get Curtis up against the fence where he can't back up and counter you then. His back is against the wall, so he can't move. Then you could try your hands. Let your hands go down, because he's the fastest heavyweight I've ever seen, bro. This dude's an absolute freak. But if I was to see this fight playing out, I can see kind of a flurry happening and then Tom catching him. And then Curtis going down, because Curtis has been knocked out before. Derek Lewis knocked him out. Ngannou knocked him out, I think twice. Now, one of them was a bit controversial, but Ngannou knocked him out. Pavlovich knocked him out. So Curtis Blaydes isn't exactly a granite chin, but he's fucking dangerous as fuck. People saying Aspinall's going to smoke Curtis. He might, but I don't really think he's going to go in there and do absolute bits. I do think he's going to win this fight, but I think you're going to see a different fight. Now, I do think it's very important Aspinall has a good fight and a convincing fight, because if you're going to sit there and say, I want John Jones, then you need to go in there and fucking end Curtis Blaydes. Like, Curtis Blaydes, if you'd like to get to John Jones, Curtis Blaydes shouldn't be that much of an obstacle. And, I think Tom will win this fight. It's going to be a great fight, close fight. Well, we'll see. It mightn't be a close fight, but on paper, I do think this is a close fight. I think Curtis has got better. I think Tom has got better. It's a completely different fight from the first one. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. This is for the real belt. In my opinion, anyway. I just think that defending an interim belt before the champion defends his belt, I don't know. It's an interesting one in the heavyweight division. I'm going to make a rant about it probably next week, because it just pisses me off. But I do think, like, even if you look at the future of the heavyweight division, these two are going to be the ones that are going to be in the title picture even this time next year, not Jones or Stipe. Jones and Stipe are going to be gone out of the division. So that's kind of where I'm basing it off. This is for the real belt, in my opinion, to see who the best heavyweight is. I'm backing Tom Aspinall, man, but this is going to be a close one. Let me know what you think in the comments below.